Good morning and happy Thursday. It's kind of one of those drizzly, kind of cooler days. A great day to work on your assignments. Seriously, get it done. Improve your grade. Mr. McMullen, I'm already at an A. Cool. That's like saying, I'm already a millionaire. You don't want to become a billionaire or a trillionaire? Like, isn't the goal in life to keep improving upon yourself? Not to just peak and become stagnant? Like, yep, made it, good enough. That's kind of boring. I mean, yeah. No, don't be that person. Hey, let's look at what we got here. On Tuesday, I had you watch these videos. I said, hey, watch all three. If you didn't watch all three, now's a chance. Go to fidewoodworking.com. Yeah, you can see right at the top of this video. You can pause it and get the link. I'll provide the link again in the Google Classroom. But watch these videos. If you haven't done it, watch them. Because today, there's no additional lesson except for probably going to need to rewatch these videos. There's three of them. And I did this because it's going to take some time. These videos, they're about 10-ish minutes each. So you're talking 30 minutes. You know, it's a little bit longer time. I get it. For this week's assignment, after you've watched all three of these videos, what are your thoughts? Uh, it, I think most people would probably say, well, it's a lot of work. I don't want to do it. Just I'll sand it down, get it smooth, and call it good. I mean, if you're building a piece of furniture that's going to stay in your house, you know, or maybe even be passed, like that's what people don't think about. Be passed down. Like, oh, that was great great grandpa Smith's, China cabinet he built in high school, or he built, and now it's mine. If it's junky and doesn't look right, I can promise you, some family member along the path is going to throw it away. There's a big giant word in the front of my classroom underneath. I have all those words like, uh, antique, this, that. One of them is heirloom. When I build a piece of furniture, I always put it in the back of my mind that this is going to go to, my kids who can then pass it down to their kids. And, it stays in the family kind of deal. And it's not because of the sentimental part. Sure, that's part of it. It's because if it's built correctly, it should last. Uh, if you ever get a chance to tour any of, our founding fathers' homes, like, Monticello for Jefferson or the Washington Estate, all the furniture is still there. And yes, some of it are reproductions, but a lot of the furniture still exists. And it's not because somebody went out and said, "Oh, I better save this. It was George Washington's, nightstand." It's because the stuff was really built well and it lasts. It probably stayed in their family and then was finally donated to the, back to the estate for the museum part. Uh, it's that idea of building things so that they last, and part of that is the finish. If you do a proper finish, if you actually take the time to sand down properly, fill small nooks and crannies, your finish, the actual finish itself, protecting whatever you end up doing, which we're going to talk about in depth next week, will go on so much better and look so much nicer. Remember, the whole idea is to not take away from your project that you're building, but to emphasize it, to make it really like pop, and people walk by and go, wow, not only does that look neat, but at the same time too, that wow. I've got two pieces of furniture I built that well, now there's a couple actually, but actually there's more than that. I'm looking around the house, going, there's a lot of stuff I built. But two things that come to mind: early projects, like when I first started doing like true woodworking, not like, running nails and screws and something and calling it, oh, I built a shelf. Yeah, yes, that's woodworking, but true woodworking where you're using complex joinery and really taking your time to build something that is you designed, you built from scratch. Um, for me, it was, I think, probably my senior year of high school. I wasn't really going off of plans anymore. I built a trestle coffee table. It's, that thick, the top. It was made out of old barnwood. Actually, it was made from one piece of wood that I had gotten out of my grandpa's barn. It was just laying on the ground. I'm like, hey, do we need this? No, you can do whatever you want with it. And took it to school. It was white oak. Ran, checked it for nails, ran it through the planer, and built a table out of it. And that table is still in my house. It finished up super nice. I remember just spending like 2 weeks sanding it. And my shop teacher telling me, keep sanding, you will be happy. And the truth is, I am. I've never had to refinish it. It looks great. The two other things I built were actually in college. One is a china cabinet that is sitting like right behind me right now. It's held up well. There's nothing wrong with it. I have no regrets on building it. It actually looks really nice in our house. The other thing I built was a desk for my sister that she still uses to this day. So again, both of those, I probably spent a week, maybe 2 weeks, sanding all the nooks and crannies, filling little tiny voids, just taking the time to prep it for that final stain or finish. So yeah, watch these videos. I'll stop ranting. Uh, and then what I want you to do for an assignment, this is your assignment. Listen very carefully. I would like you to tell me the steps looking at your own project. What were you building when we left, uh, for quarantine? What were you building? Some of you were building a simple project. Some of you were building something more complex. But what would be the steps to get it from, hey, McMullen, I have stopped construction. I'm no longer adding pieces. I'm done. Okay. What would be the next steps for your project up so stop before applying any stain or anything? So what are the sanding techniques that you're going to use to actually sand it? Give me full sentences. And I'm not going to give you a minimum. I'm not going to say, hey, please rate me a minimum half page. You tell me what you need to do. I'm going to tell you right now, if you send me a sentence that just says, I need to sand it, cool. You also need to give me more detail. Pretend to me, or pretend like I've never seen woodworking before. I'm trying to learn. What do I need to do? Explain to me. What are you going to do for your project? So at the top of your paper, whether you write this by hand or turn it on as a Google Doc or however you get it to me, an email, I don't care. Tell me what you were building. Hey, Mr. McMullen, I was working on a coffee table. Hey, Mr. McMullen, I was working on an Adirondack chair. Okay. Once it's finished, here are the steps I'm going to use. I'm probably going to start with a 100 grit sandpaper, and then I'm going to move up to 150. And then I'm going to fill all the little voids. If I have anything that's a big void, I'm going to plug it with what are you going to do? These videos should influence you in how you're going to do it. So I want to know the proper way of what you're going to do. And you may get feedback from me saying, hey, I wouldn't do this. Change your paper. So if you have any questions at all, remember, you can always get a hold of me via email and easier, yeah, more better. No, that's not right. The better way to get a hold of me is through Remind. It's literally a text message service that's anonymous as far as, we don't see each other's phone numbers. So I don't get those crazy calls in the middle of the night. But use Remind. I pretty much answer instantly unless you're using it in the middle of the night, and then no. So that's your assignment for this week. If you got any questions, get a hold of me. Enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to be really nice. Take care, and we'll see you on Tuesday.